All right, so I didn't know whether or not this should have been like a mystery marathon or just a regular marathon. Typically, we cover these series like, you know, oh, right. You need to call me Captain for the rest of this review.
Yes, Captain.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do, but with Mystery Marathon, typically what we do is we watch very specific, like, genre films and this and that. But I guess with David Lynch, we all knew.
That's right, Captain. I'll just die if I don't do this review.
She's committed to the bit on this one, no? How about I become a
Insane.
Stepford husband?
I was going to say, just kill me.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, there is 3 sequels to the Stepford Wives, the original 1975 film. And then I would say most people probably know they remade it in 2004 with Nicole Kidman and Matthew Broderick. But yeah, I mean, so one thing that I've wanted to do for a long time is I've wanted to start a podcast or a second channel or something where I cover only forgotten sequels to famous films. And there's a lot of them. It would shock you to know how many like random unknown sequels there are out there.
Sure.
That people are like, that has a sequel? Like, yeah, it has 3.
Yeah.
Right. That happens all the time. And this is one of those examples where the Stepford Wives, you know, I don't know if I knew this or not. I thought I did, but I'm not 100%. I had never seen a single Stepford Wife film. Right? But there are 5 of them. And we're here to talk about all of them.
Yes.
So we watched all 5 of them over the last, I don't know, few weeks, periodically in between all of our other watches. And the only way that you can watch Stepford Wives 2, 3, and 4 is on like YouTube or on, there was another, Daily Motion, I think was the other one we watched it on. One was like, had Norwegian or something subtitles, Danish subtitles or something, and it was so blurry you could barely see anything. The next one was flipped, reversed, so all the words were backwards, all of the people were like driving on the wrong side of the car, stuff like that. You're just watching, you're like, oh yeah, it's flipped, it's flipped, it's flipped. And that was just as blurry as the other one. Then the next one was clearer. That one we did get a little bit clearer. But there was something else with that one. Can't remember what it was.
It was like split into 2 videos, I think.
It was split into 2 videos, but was that the one that kept like doing random
that's the
weird
Stepford
like
children.
No, the Stepford Husbands.
Oh.
Is the 3rd one. Is the 4th one, technically, but the 3rd sequel. So it goes Stepford Wives.
Yeah.
The Revenge of the Stepford Wives.
Up with the Stepford Husband video that we watched. I'm not sure.
Maybe nothing.
But it was all, like, the 3 sequels are
impossible
horrible quality.
Yeah.
As a warning. Like, you get blurry shapes that sort of look like humans.
So you can watch all of them.
You can watch them
on the Internet Archive.
Yeah.
All 3 of them are on there. So if you have a hard time finding them, the quality on there is the quality you'll get. We tried to watch them on different services. They're all the same. Yeah. So if you try to look for better copies of these, if you find one, let us know. It would be nice to see these. To literally see them.
Right. It would actually be nice. Well,
but
yeah.
Let's talk about the Stepford Wives, shall we? Sure. This is easily the best of the bunch.
Easily.
This is actually a very good film.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the rest. But I found entertainment in all of them. But I don't think that it was intentional entertainment on some of them.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, the first one is the only one that they really try to kind of hide the ball with what's happening, right? It's a mystery, and then once that mystery is revealed, once the cat's out of the bag, or the cat's out of the bag, What's the saying?
It's the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag, but then what's out of the box? Something's out of the box, too.
I don't know.
I think I'm mixing up phrases here. Anyway. Yeah, you just can't put the genie back in the bottle, right? So, like,
Yeah.
once that has been revealed, they don't obviously try to hide it anymore. But this is a really fucking weird series because, you know, we don't need to take them one at a time. I guess we can kind of talk about them here and there. I do want to talk about the first one to start, but
yeah,
just to kind of talk about other things that happen. This franchise is very odd because, like, the first one, the wives are robots. The second one, the wives are medicated.
Yeah.
The third one, the children are
both
kind of hybrid, maybe. They're like sucking the life force out of the children and putting it into a robot or something.
Very unsure and unclear.
Then the fourth one with the Stepford husbands.
They're medicated
again, but
yeah.
for some reason, because they're men are more violent. So when their drugs are not... So, I don't know, though, because in Revenge of Stepford Wives, which is the second one, when they take too many drugs, they lash out and become, like, killers, right? Getting vengeance. But it just seems like they're more doing it for vengeful purposes, to get back at the guy who controlled them, as opposed to the Stepford husbands. They just seem to want to murder their wives. But then at the same time, they're the ones that did it to them, so that is vengeance. I don't know. It's a really... And then the fifth one, the remake, God. I have no fucking clue.
They are like...
I think they're robots that have had the wife's brains put in them, and then computer chips are put into the brain?
Yeah.
That's in a synthetic body, I think.
I don't know. I don't know. It's all over the place. Obviously, you know, the original, I think, like, it became, at least especially now, it's such a iconic film, and, like, calling somebody a Stepford wife and, like, stuff like that. Like, it's very relevant in pop culture. So, like, yeah, it is hard to kind of, like, hide the fact that something's going on, and I don't think that any of the sequels intend to do that. They're kind of just aping off of the gimmick of everything. Yeah. But the original, you know, really has so much to say as far as, like, women's rights and feminism, and it's very, very important for the 70s, you know, with the women's lib movement and everything. And it is a straight horror movie. Like, it is actually very disturbing in a lot of ways, and all the following films, like I said, they ape off of it because, like, the setups are all the same, where you have whether it's the wife or the kids or the husband coming into town, and then they inevitably meet this other person that's also a newcomer that's very quirky or, you know, different or whatever, and then they get turned, and it's just kind of rinse, lather, repeat of the same thing. But I love the original. I think that it's very interesting. I love everybody's performance. I love the whole vibe of everything. I love how, like, fucked up it is, obviously, that, like, these men are totally fine with just killing their wives and replacing them with robots. And it speaks a lot to the fears of, I think, you know, kind of both sides of things, really. Like, what women, you know, what feminists want as far as autonomy and being respected as an individual and a human, and not just put into the role of you have to be a housemaker because you're a woman. And at the same time also saying, like, you know, a lot of guys are wanting that, like, they want a woman that will take care of them and, you know, do all these different tasks and fulfill a very specific...
A trad wife.
Yeah, a very specific role in their lives. And obviously, you know, they're willing to do anything to make their wives be that for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, God, I feel like I could do an hour-long discussion on this topic alone, no problem, with, like, men feeling emasculated by strong women, and just how pathetic I find that to be. I find that they're, like, in the modern culture that we currently exist in, we have so much rejection of strong women representation in any form, whether it's in entertainment or in the world or any examples of it. There's so many men that are like terrified that women are trying to castrate their masculinity and suppress their testosterone, which is like ironically the most pussy ass bitch shit I've ever heard in my entire life. And I always kind of find it fascinating that so many men are like crying about strong women to try to preserve their masculinity. And it's like, you sound like such a pussy. Like, what? Like, I just.
Well, especially because
I've never
a lot
concerned
of,
myself
like,
with like how women are perceived, and like I do think there's a balance to things. I do, and I do think that the rejection of certain things can go too far. Right? I'm not somebody who's just like, no, it's got to be all this way or all that way. I definitely think there's a conversation to be had about like how like gender roles have shifted and how men have definitely been labeled and vilified in a lot of ways, and there's an overuse of toxic masculinity, and a lot of men do feel like nowadays that they don't have a voice like they used to and whatever. And I think that there is a balance that needs to be met on these things, right? Because when you start to repress people and you try to push them down, and eventually it's going to get to a place where they're going to rebel and they're going to fight back, and they are going to be the marginalized. They're going to be the ones that are like, you know, the oppressed eventually, if you continue to keep doing it. So I think there's a conversation to be had, right? But I find it really ironic and funny when people who have kind of had it good for so long finally start to taste what the other side has been dealing with for a long time.
And not even close to it
right,
at all.
Sure.
Like, that's what's very funny. I mean, women have been in, we've talked about this before, like, there's, you know, not to say that, like, every culture has, like, that every man beats their woman, and, like, you know, but there is a definite trend in how women are treated throughout history. We'll just say that. And what's very funny about like this kind of, well, like these movies and the kind of guys that are portrayed in the films that are, you know, wanting their wives to become Stepford wives, it's like they do just very much want they don't want a person. They don't really want a relationship with an actual human. They want somebody to do all the housework and chores and take care of their children, and then they want somebody to have sex with them that they like, you know,
them.
Yeah, basically just make them feel like they're the best, like God's gift, right? And then they also want themselves to have like a mother, like in and of that. And that's definitely like those kinds of roles are what women do get placed in a lot of like maybe more traditional marriages. And that's not to say that some women are like happy in that. Sure, like whatever. It's fine. If you're the kind of person who's like, yeah, that's like exactly what I want to be. Like being a Stepford wife sounds like the best thing ever. Then good for you. But the problem with the films is that it's not about women that naturally want to be those things. It's about turning women that have no interest in being like 100% those things.
They're fucking robots.
Right, but like you know what I mean though. Like it's all about like squashing any independence, squashing any what people consider as masculine traits, which is just very stupid, of course. Because, like, yeah, like in the first film, right, we have this photographer. She is a good mom. Like, she does take care of her kids. She's not lacking in any of that. The whole thing is that she feels creatively, like, boxed in because she gets so much of her inspiration living in the city, and then they move out to this countryside, and she's just, like, doesn't feel like she can pursue her passion of photography, and her husband's not really supportive of her pursuing that either. At least not in a way that is like actually meaningful to her. So, you know, that's a very not a crazy thing for somebody to ask in a relationship, right? Like, and so obviously the guys in Stepford just, you know, completely want to control their wives, and as you said, like they're not even women anymore. They're just robots. Like that's what they want. And that's what the remake really highlights is this. It's a machine. It's a tool. Like it's just an object for you. It's like very, very objectifying of women. Although obviously the first film and subsequent films also do the objectification of women. But yeah, I think, I mean, it's hugely important culturally. I think there's a lot of discussion that we could have, obviously, on all of it, and we won't necessarily, don't have to talk too much more about it because it just kind of comes up as we talk about the other films, but definitely the first film was the best. It's the scariest one. It has a very iconic ending when she opens her eyes and they're all black, and it's just, like, creepy and messed up. And obviously the shopping carts when they're all, like, going around the
which they parody
grocery
at the
store.
End of the remake. Because that's the iconic ending of them.
All these women in like high heels, full face of makeup, like beautiful dresses. Because that's the other thing too. It's like, not only do I want you to like do all the housework and take care of kids, which, hello, is messy to do, like naturally, but also you have to look fucking awesome and amazing, like, and ready to be fucked at any time while you do that. Like, I want you to be pretty and attractive just so that if I happen to look at you, right? Which is also joked about in the remake when they have their exercise class and they're all wearing like dresses and stuff, and Nicole Kidman's character is like, you're not gonna wear like, you know, workout clothes, outfits, and she's like, no, like, what if our husbands came and saw us? And yeah, that's a really funny scene where all their exercises are like, we're gonna be a washing machine, and they're like doing these really stupid things.
Yeah, but of course then that begs the question of like, if they're robots, they don't
why
need
do they
to work
even
out.
have to? Yeah.
But I don't know, that's a whole other side issue where I could talk about that for way too long. Of like, I don't understand how any of the mechanics of these things work. I don't understand the robots. I don't understand.
No.
So one thing they definitely don't do, because okay, I guess the first thing I'll say really quick, just kind of sidebar for a second to get back to what you were saying. You know, there definitely will be people who reject this out of hand and they'll be like, this is so ridiculous and this is so over the top and blah, blah, blah. Is it? Is it really? Because, okay, couple things. Number one, how many guys in the world would option for this if they had a chance? And if they were being completely honest. Like, if it was behind closed doors and no one knew about it and whatever. Right? Like, how many dudes would option for this? A lot more than you think. A lot more than you think, especially in the 70s, right? Especially when you're just coming out of the 50s and the 60s, when the 50s is basically what this is. This is what dudes wanted. That's what they expected, right? And the rejection of that is what spawned this movie in the first place. So there's that, right? That's definitely a question of like, how many dudes would actually want this to happen? And also, like, what this has literally less than zero appeal to me. Like, to think, and I guess I'll go from there, is that if you don't think that's true, mark my words, within the next 20 years, we will have people who are buying sex bots because we're this close. We are this close. We have AI that is advancing faster than you could fucking ever think possible. They're absolutely incredible what they're doing with AI right now. It's becoming much more human every day. It's becoming almost impossible to differentiate between the two. And then look into robotics, what they're doing with I see videos all the time of so close to human, right? And where do we organically go with that? What do people truly care about, right? There's only a few things people care about. They want slaves and they want sex, and they want both of those things together, right? So 100% people will start being like, well, you know, I don't have time, because that's always what, everything's always on the move, go. I don't got time to date. And everybody just like fucks and goes now, right?
Well, yeah,
and so like when sex bots come on the market, which they will, and they'll get more and more advanced, within 20 years from now, you will see people in fully monogamous, or not monogamous, but like in fully committed relationships where they are fucking married to a robot. They'll be with a robot, and that will be their partner, and it'll be their slave, and it will just stay at home, and it'll cook and clean, and it'll do all the shit it wants, and it'll fuck them.
Obviously, like, a lot of this, like, so it depends on like how those robots are, like if the AI is like truly, like, if it's like an actual person, right? Like, if you can have conversations and they're not just programmable to be like, everything that you like, and like we just had an episode that we were kind of talking about in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where there's like a sex robot, and like there's this funny scene where she has like an overlay where it's like the kinks that like the guy likes and stuff. So if it's truly just like programmed to be like, I'm only gonna respond to like in ways that you want me to, and like never push back or never whatever,
of course that's the only way it'll be.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, then it's not a real relationship, right? Like, it's all kind of like fake. And I think that I think that there are people that don't actually care, because relationships, you know, like I don't really think that they're necessarily work in the way people mean that when they say their work, but they do take effort, and they are messier than like if you're just having some. Like, if you're just using your vibrator, or you're just using some sex toy or something, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't really give you any pushback on things and doesn't challenge you or anything. And obviously, a lot of the joy in relationships I don't think can necessarily be replicated. I mean, who knows? Maybe in 20 years we'll have AI that's that advanced. But I think, like, as you said, I don't think people are going to necessarily want that in a sex robot. They'll want the closest thing, but they don't really want like an actual like human, otherwise you could go out and get a human. And that is part of like this whole thing with Stepford, is like, what if you could manufacture the perfect partner that is always attractive to you, always like on your side, always ready to be with you, and like blah 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 blah. And I think that's actually one of the reasons why the Stepford husband movie does not work for me, because they don't do the same thing with the husbands that they do with the women. Like, all the women in the Stepford wives movies and stuff are either already super attractive going into it, or they just like enhance them. Like in the remake, they have like, I don't know, they can make their like boobs like get bigger and stuff, you know. But the Stepford husbands are obviously, since they're just medicated, I guess, but even though they medicate them in the revenge, they don't really like become like more attractive or anything. They're kind of still just like these like dorky little guys. I mean, the main guy is the actor that plays Harry Truman in Twin Peaks, and he is a very attractive man, but like the friend, I don't know, and like the other guys that are there, they just all didn't really seem that like, you know, like the female version of the fantasy.
But isn't
you know
that
what I mean?
Isn't that indicative of like the desires typically for people, like women in general? I hate to generalize, but it's kind of the conversation we're having at the moment. It's hard not to. Men are very superficial with looks. Yeah. Like, majority. Not all, of course. And women, for the most part, that's like much lower on the totem pole.
I guess some of it's that,
like, you know, of their desires. They want a guy who makes them feel secure. Right. They want a guy who makes, you know, like there's looks is lower on the list than it is for men. Typically, of course. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule with anything. But I do think that's part of it. But then again, we're talking about the Stepford Husbands, a third made-for-TV sequel. They're not thinking about things deeply.
Besides that, I mean, that's fair, like, fine. And again, they're taking their actual husbands and just, like, medicating the shit out of them. Yeah. But the other part that I don't like about it is that, like, the women have, like, very drastically different, like, behaviors. Like, they're very fake and very, like, you know, playing to the male fantasy. But, like, and maybe this is, like, also more social commentary, but, like, the way the guys act when they're medicated and, like, fixed are kind of just, like, polite and, like, kind of normal, like, not, like, shitty. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the
they
bare
don't act
minimum.
Like robots, right?
Right.
They
Whereas,
just
like,
act like civilized people.
Yeah, like, the bare minimum. Again, like, maybe that's, like, kind of a little bit of social commentary, probably unintentional from the filmmakers, but I just it definitely doesn't make it as like extreme, because it's like, you know, like her husband in that, like, he is an asshole. Like, I don't know what his deal is. He's like got writer's block and is just like all frustrated by everything. But like when he's like bouncing the basketball on the wall and like being super annoying, and she's like honestly not being a bitch or anything. She's just like, can you do that outside? Like, we're working in the house together.
Imagine if I was throwing a basketball against one of our walls.
He's such an asshole to her.
So hard.
He's such
like,
an
he
asshole.
Would definitely dent the wall.
And then like
knock shit off the walls. Like, what are you doing?
When he comes back and he's just like, he's got flowers and he's just like nice.
Yeah.
And it's
just like a good husband.
Like, yeah, like your friends can
just
come
like
over.
A basic husband.
Like, yeah, your friend's fine.
Yeah.
She can come over.
Right.
It's crazy.
No, you're right.
It was crazy.
That
so it's like
that movie's not good.
But like, then in contrast, the Stepford Children, like that has a really dramatic change. Because the kids are like, okay, first of all, the fashion sense for them, like both ways, but pre-Stepfordizing it's like crazy. Like the guy, the brother,
his like bandana
the way he shows up to go to like the prom, like his outfit of like what he's gonna wear to go to like this dance. I don't know if it's prom, but
she
like
calls him out on it at least.
She does, but
She's
it's
like,
crazy.
what the fuck are you wearing?
It's not even a bandana. It's like a string of like fat like cloth that he has like wrapped around his head, and then he's wearing
it's like
sunglasses.
his attempt at being edgy.
So crazy, and her hair, his sister's hair, is teased insanely.
Tease it to Jesus.
But they're very like, and even like the kid that we see in the opening that's like in the boat with his dad.
We're jumping all over the place right now.
But like, there's a dramatic change, and then like once they get changed, like when she gets changed, because the girl gets the sister gets kind of like Stepfordized.
In Stepford Children.
In Stepford Children,
You're talking
sorry.
about so many different films right now.
She's very dramatically different.
Remember,
and,
most people haven't even watched.
Yeah.
Most of these films.
Yeah.
So let's try to keep them. Let's try to keep them informed on what movie we're talking about. But yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just there's a very big difference in their behavior, and I feel like the same goes for the Stepford wives, but the Stepford husbands just do not do that. So I felt like that movie was like kind of the probably the worst of them, I would say.
So the only movie that actually addresses the most interesting aspect of the series to me, because none of the films touch on this at all until the remake, which, don't get me wrong, I don't think the remake's a very good film. I actually think it was a very weird misfire. I don't know why they made it a fucking full-blown comedy. It is such a serious subject matter. I think that it would be very relevant in 2004. It's relevant now, especially with the trad wife stuff. And conformity and a return to conservatism and with the Trump era and everything. I definitely think this would be an interesting time to revisit it, and we kind of did with Companion. But regardless, the most interesting aspect of this franchise that's not really ever addressed on in the original series is that we never see the fucking like husbands or even wives really like wrestling with the decision or being told about how this process works, or like them knowing that their wives are dead, or like committing to that thing or anything. Like we don't really know what's going on the other side of this equation.
Sure, well, because...
And there's so many opportunities to explore that in this franchise, and they just don't really do that, where it's like, show us the husbands. I know with the first one's all about the reveal, right? That they're robots. But you can still reveal that and then show maybe flashbacks or something to show like, did the husband know? Because that's what I want to know. Does the husband know that she's a robot? I don't see how he couldn't.
Right, no, I think...
Because they're going to get injured eventually, and they're not going to age.
They're going to be like, you have to, like, do these things or whatever. Yeah, I think they know, and I agree. Like, I do find that to be really interesting. I'm glad that they kind of, like, address it in the remake. I don't think it's needed in the original because it's more... like, I just don't feel like you need the explanation of it, like, explicitly, because I feel like it is, like, they're... The men's club is coming over, and you have the one guy that's, like, drawing, pictures of her, and then the other guy that's getting her to, like, talk into this recorder so that they have all these words and stuff, and I feel like it's very obvious that the guys all know what's happening there, and that they're gonna just make her into a robot, but as the sequels progress, it's like, like, you do kind of want to know, like, if we're going to spend time in the Stepford universe, like, you do want to know from the guy's perspective, like, it makes it a little bit more dynamic to be like you have a couple, and then you are realizing that the husband is planning all this, the move to Stepford because he wants his wife to become a Stepford wife, and just him having that revelation of like what it can be and how he approaches that would be really interesting, and that is what we get basically in the remake, although as you said, the remake is extremely comedic, which I think is a huge disservice to the subject matter because it does make it funny. And it is funny. I mean, there is like really ridiculous stuff that happens. Like literally the way that the husband finds out that they're robots is like one of the guys at the men's association is like, honey, come here. And he's like, I need $20. And she's an ATM. And she pulls out.
So stupid.
So they have to be robots. But I think you're right. I think that their brains are supposed to be like the human brain is inside the robot body.
Yeah.
Is the only way that works. It's very confusing.
So then at the end of the movie, they're still robots with their human brain. And I'm assuming they're never going to age.
Because even that movie also, although it addresses it a little bit, it also kind of nods to the fact that they don't really have a solid explanation because, what's his face?
Christopher Walken?
Yeah, Christopher Walken's character. I don't know what his name is in the film.
No.
He's like, look at this commercial that I'm gonna be unveiling to the rest of the world, and it's this very 50s-esque commercial where they're just like, you take your like unhappy ugly wife and you put her into this pod and some stuff happens and like she comes out and she's perfect. So
I don't think I don't think that commercial is going to air on television or anything,
no.
Right? Like that's going to be played in cigar-filled back rooms.
Yeah, I guess commercial is not the right word, but yeah, no, you're right. It's a commercial. He says that's what he's going to show to like other people to get them to move to Stepford or to have Stepford like come to them.
And the kind of assholes who would be able to afford something like this is why I fucking hate rich people. There's 100%. This is the kinds of people that would be like, yeah, 100%. That's
oh my
how
god,
I want it.
the houses in the remake are insane, and it's all wealthy people, like super ridiculously like New York rich that live there.
The thing that I kind of found fascinating about this, because like realistically, so there's a couple things here, right? So number one is like, you would think that these guys would just move there single, right?
Sure.
And break up their wives or come there single or whatever and just have a robot wife given to them. But no, I want to take my wife, murder her, and replace her with a robot that looks kind of like her but hotter.
Yeah, it's
and she's
so
subservient to me. And it's like, why not just leave your wife, move to Stepford, and have them give you a robot wife that you don't have to murder anyone to get, and you can design her to look any fucking way you want, right? You got a favorite celebrity or 5? We'll make an amalgamation of all of them.
That's the whole thing.
Adjust their tits and their whatever. Like, why they need to murder their wives?
It's because
or medicate them is so interesting. It's power, right?
Yeah,
it's control.
Part of it, it's like that's kind of part of the commentary is changing somebody, changing a woman to fit your specifications of what you think is perfect for a woman or what you want in a partner.
That's not lost on me. I'm just talking about in reality.
Sure, but these guys
why
like,
wouldn't you just
just go there single then, dude. Then nobody gets hurt. Totally.
Correct.
The Stepford children is definitely kind of like the crazy one of the bunch because they're not going to age. So what exactly happens with these kids? And like, it's almost worse. I feel like the dad in the Stepford children is like the worst.
But then they want like, so their bloodline's going to end though, right? Because like they want their kids to be the Stepford children, and then they want the Stepford children to date the other Stepford children, and it's like you're not going to get an heir. Right, since these are the kinds of dickheads that would want an heir, they're not going to get one. I guess they could have a robot heir.
I have no idea how they think that's going
to. But like, it's weird because the most horrifying thing in the entire franchise, hands down, is some of the last shots in the Stepford children. I would love to see it in like Blu-ray because I'm so curious on what it actually looks like. But from what we could see in the very like blurry version that we saw. Is like these like half-formed bodies that were like, looked like almost like malnourished or like deformed, and they're like so in pain and agony, and then like they like run out of the building, and then they like come across the door and they leave them behind, and it's like it's like these kids that have been experimented on and
like
had like
really
half of their
up.
life sucked out of them, and they're like at the doors like, oh, like kind of let us in, like we want to go with you, and they're like, fuck off, weirdos, and drive away.
It's crazy.
I'm like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's
that's
really scary. Up. I'm glad you said it, because like that's like definitely the darkest part, aside from like the OG ending, which is very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The Stepford Children is a crazy one for sure. The music, like the the like way that they kind of there's like 3 teens, right? The brother and sister, and then like a girlfriend for the brother that are unchanged, and like all the kids are they're Stepford. And they're at this dance, and they're playing like oldies, like really old music that everyone's like dancing to, very like just, I don't know, stupidly.
Then they put on rock and roll.
And the way that the normal kids are dancing is crazy. And it like short circuits the robots. Like... Yeah, they like want to dance, but they can't.
Yeah.
Then that one was crazy. That one was very entertaining, I would say. The Stepford Children was really entertaining.
That reminded me a lot of like Class of 1999. You haven't seen that, but that's probably what it's more in line with. It felt more of like a Class of 99 film, but yeah. And then as far as like people who show up in this, in the second film, The Revenge of the Stepford Wives.
Which we haven't even really talked about.
We haven't really talked about that one.
Kind of a boring one, to be honest. I don't know.
I did like our main character, though, who the journalist who's trying to, like, interview everyone in town. And she makes friends with Marge Simpson.
Yes. So cute. She's so cute.
Yeah,
I never knew what she looked like.
She's the literal actor who voices Marge Simpson. And you can absolutely tell she doesn't change her voice all that much to play Marge.
No, she doesn't.
Kaylee caught it very quick.
Yeah, it's just you hear it and it's instantly like her. But I like the main character, and I guess the other part that I like about it is that one, they're medicated. The wives are medicated, and there's like a bell that tolls at certain times throughout the day, like all over town.
4 times a day. Yeah.
All these women just take a pill, and every time the journalist asks them, they're like, I have a slight thyroid problem or something.
The whole town.
So stupid. And yeah, the way she ends up like breaking them is by when she like breaks into the men's association, she rings the bell like over and over and over again, so they just keep taking the medicine, which like I don't really understand how that works, because you'd think it would just overdose them and they'd like die or something, but instead it like counteracts like the amount of medication that they're taking. Like, I don't know, it breaks them out of it somehow, and they all want revenge, and then they like mob kill.
The title is a bit of a spoiler, since it's literally the last like 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because in that one though, they also can like, they're doing like MK Ultra stuff, because they like get one of the wives, like they try to like kill the journalist.
Oh yeah.
By making her back into back her car into her, and then they also get them to like chase the journalist.
Trained soldiers.
Yeah, they're like sleeper soldiers or sleeper agents. Yeah. Super weird. So that's funny, and yeah, I mean the same thing, right? Like her friend Marge Simpson is like this just totally normal woman that's just kind of not frumpy, but like, just like
free soul,
regular gal. And then of course she gets turned, and all she cares about is baking and cleaning. And I like when they are in these like loops, when the Stepford wives are from the original, I'll just die if I don't get this recipe. And
how about Bette Midler?
Bette Midler was my favorite. I like want to look like Bette Midler in the remake of the Stepford Wives. I don't know why, but she has like such a cute style before she becomes Stepfordized. Yeah. Her like little silver glasses I wanted immediately. She plays a writer who even though I think that the remake is like kind of too silly, and like I said, it definitely does a disservice. I did also really like the characters, which is funny. Like I like Nicole Kidman's character. I like Bette Midler. Yeah. her hair, the short black like kind of bob haircut that she has, looks really good on her.
Very cute. Roger Bannister, the gay guy.
He was awesome.
Was the best.
He was really funny. Yeah, I just liked their friendship. And I thought it was really interesting that they had a gay guy in, and like his husband is like they are talking about how he's like a gay Republican now and gay conservative, and they're all like, how? Which I thought was really funny.
They exist somehow. I don't know
and
how.
And he like
but they
wants
still
to like
to
make his husband like less flamboyant, basically, like less gay.
Yeah.
Which is, or weird. You know, it's so weird. But that was an interesting like addition to it. And
it sucks
there's
because
also
all the fun people, all the best people in these movies are the ones everyone wants to change. Except for the Stepford husbands. The Stepford husbands guys
he sucked.
He does suck.
He sucked. I'm like,
but in every other movie,
him.
Everyone who's awesome,
yeah,
they want to make one of their drones and take all the life out of, and all the people who want to make them that way suck.
They're boring and lame, and in the remake, like it is very much the emasculated men. Like all of these men marry women that are like CEOs of companies, and like Bette Midler's character, like a writer and all this stuff, and they feel like super.
Well, Nicole Kidman's character is literally like emasculizing guys on
her
television network,
is
pitting the
crazy.
sexes against each other.
Yeah,
that one with the girl
but it's
who's like
dudes.
picks the fucking.
Oh my gosh, she's like
the whole orgy of.
That's such a funny setup where they're like, you get to be with it's like.
I can do better.
Professional prostitutes, basically, a professional like call people, and he's with like some hot babe, and he's just like, nope, I love my wife, and she's out with the cast of like the whole cast of like an X-rated film, and like the tall guy that comes out,
and she's funny. Like, I love you, honey, and I always have, but I can do better. that was pretty funny. And then that weird fucking. Like CGI dog they went
I was gonna
with.
Say,
that was so weird.
They did the Stepford pets, which this whole time we were like kind of joking, just talking about Stepford pets, like Stepfording our dog and
she
stuff.
Even finds like evidence that it was a dog.
Yes, it was like an award-winning dog, and that was actually really sad.
Was it a female dog? An award-winning female dog?
Probably.
Can't have any female having success.
No.
Even the dog's gotta go down. That dog was a weird choice.
It was weird, though. It's really weird.
So...
It looked very 2004. It looked like it was out of a
cartoon.
Yes.
It was so bizarre. I was like, what is this choice?
I know.
And this is from director Frank Oz, who did Little Shop of Horrors and What About Bob?
Yeah.
And The Dark Crystal is the first film that he directed, and he's the voice of Yoda, and, so many things. Frank Oz is obviously a big name, and what a weird movie.
So, and then obviously the big twist of that movie is that the Mike, the guy, the men's association leader, is actually the robot, and what's her face? Glenn Close is actually the brain surgeon mastermind behind all this, and she has like a really sad speech at the end of the movie where she basically was like disappointed with her life choice because she caught her husband cheating on her with like a 21-year-old
and then killed them
and so
both.
Then she kills them and then decides to make things beautiful, and so that's like a really interesting twist on everything.
Don't forget though that the other twist is that Matthew Broderick chooses not to change his wife.
Yeah.
She was never... Oh, wait. He says she was never a robot.
Yeah.
Right. They never change her.
No.
But Bette Midler and Roger are robots.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can put them back in their bodies.
If anybody can find this, I looked for a little bit when we were watching this. But
shirt.
The Vigo shirt that she pulls out, that she's like, Vigo! Because, like, he's throwing away all his clothes. I need that shirt.
And Orlando Bloom. He has a Lord of the Rings kink. This is 2004, so this is literally 1 year after.
I need the Vigo shirt. The red shirt with just Vigo's head, like...
so weirdly put on there.
I need it. Somebody find it.
It's like really bad Photoshop where you just kind of loosely cut out the head and then just plaster it on a wall.
I literally, I need it in my life.
Cool to see John Lovitz. Yeah. Always love seeing John Lovitz.
The revenge in this is that they keep like all the menfolk in Stepford, and they like force them to shop and like do all the like things that they didn't want to do.
Yeah,
just so ridiculous.
I like that stuff.
But that's funny.
I like that stuff. It's just such a goofy comedy movie that I just feel. It reminded me of Mars Attacks.
That's what I was thinking too.
Is that funny?
It was just funny because Mars Attacks is terrifying. But yeah, same kind of vibe. And they do so many homages to the original in this. Like, obviously they walk in on the people having sex, and she's like... I love
when Roger's like,
I'm such a lucky girl. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go get some. I'm gonna go get some of that. He's like trying to go up the stairs. It's so funny. But yeah, the sex scene where they hear like somebody, they do it in the original too, where they're just like in the house listening to this girl being fucked by her husband Frank. I don't know if that's who it is in the remake too, but it's like Captain and you're the champion.
Yeah.
You're the... I don't remember what they say in this one, but it's very funny. But I'm pretty sure she's like, I'm so lucky. Like, I'm such a lucky girl. And I'm like, oh my God. Are there guys that really want to hear that? Like, it's so fake sounding.
If it was genuine.
Sure, but like, she's a robot. Like, she's literally... And then he's like, go get me some chips or something. Some nachos.
I do really like the, like, contrast of the remake with, like, the wives versus the husbands, because they like especially towards the end when you see them all together on the dance floor and stuff, and these guys are like this tall and their wives are this tall and their wives are these knockout bombshells, and these guys are like super nerdy little geeks.
Nicole Kidman's character is literally like, you guys got us. Like, we married you. Yeah. We're the, like, which is, that's the thing. Like, they're, like, because she's like, I work in, you know, it's so weird. I think Bette Midler's character is like, it's so weird to see all these, like sex kittens with these guys. And she's like, not for me. Like, I work in, like, entertainment or whatever.
Sure.
But that's the thing. Like, the gross guys are like, we're the billionaires and we'll get you in the movies. So it's, of course, they get the, like, attractive women. But in this world, in that world of Stepford, all those attractive women chose to be with those guys because they cared about them or loved them or whatever. And it's like the guys are still complaining about it because they're like, I'm not the breadwinner. I'm not the one that's like getting all the attention for being like successful. But it's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you got your wife. Like, she wants to be with you.
Yeah, this whole like weird notion of men feeling less than because their wives are more successful than them. Once again, that's just some wimpy ass bitch shit for me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I dated a girl who made 4 times what I made. The girl I dated right before Kaylee. And it never did anything. It was like, I didn't care. It didn't bother me. I didn't want to stay because of it, and I didn't want to leave because of it. Right? It was just like, kind of like part of, like, it was cool. It was like, wow, you're so successful. It also kind of annoyed me, though, because I felt like her job was so silly and simplistic in a lot of ways. I was like, what the fuck? There's people I know that work their asses off and make 1/10 what you make. Yeah. This girl made $400,000 a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I was just like, and she, oh my God, she literally, like, she did stuff, don't get me wrong, but I was like, you are not earning that.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, these guys, it's like, okay, then go do something then. Like, you're like, I want to do things. It's like, all right. But I think it's like they don't want to be the stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home husband or whatever.
Yeah, no, like, instead of building themselves up, they knock them down.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like,
that's why I'm saying then, it's like, bitch-ass
work
shit.
On yourself.
Exactly.
Like, you have all this money from your wife to, like, go invest in hobbies or something and, like, I don't know, make yourself, like, work out or whatever if that's what you want to do. Like...
Yeah.
It's just like they couldn't improve themselves if they wanted.
It's like, oh my God, this person's so much better at this thing than me. Okay, then fucking do it more. Put in more
or just do something different that you're good at.
Sure.
I don't know. It's very funny. But
it's just jealousy because unfortunately men are, I don't know what the right word is.
Stepford Husbands had it right. They're just, what is it, The Angry Male, that book? That's like a real, that's true.
I don't hate men for sure, but men are very fragile. There is no doubt about it. They try to act like they're tough, but I've not known this to be true. I think for the most part, by and large, men have extremely fragile egos and like fragile masculinity. It just completely collapses under anything that like threatens their, you know, feeling of superiority or, you know, whatever. They collapse under the weight of it, and it's not even, there's not even any weight. It's like a fucking, like a pebble, and it completely shatters their whole fucking world. And it's like, you are such a bitch. Like, I don't get it. I read so many comments online all the time from guys, and I'm just like, this is so
But this is
wimpy.
what's so funny about that too, is that like having more inclusive spaces and like things like feminism and like equality and everything, like it, and like when people talk about not wanting toxic masculinity to be as like taught to kids in terms of like how their families raise them, right? Like that helps men. Like it actually doesn't hurt them, because then men feel like they're in environments and in a culture where it's okay for them to be sensitive, it's okay for them to have, you know, whatever feelings that they're having, and to not necessarily always have to be like strong macho men, because like anybody can have these, you know, people are just naturally different ways, right? Like if you're not somebody who's like the stereotypical guy, like I'm not saying that you're necessarily like not heterosexual or something, but like let's just say like you're not like super into sports, or like, you know, the things that everyone's like, that's what a masculine, like that's what a man is into, and you don't have that interest, and you have all these people telling you like this is what you have to be into, and if you're not into that, then like you're a loser and you suck. Like that weighs a lot on people, combined with like tons of other stuff that's happening obviously in the world. But if you have like cultures and societies that are built up where it's like you can kind of pursue and be whoever you want to be no matter what gender you are, like it does help guys a lot. But there's a whole narrative out there that it's like, no, feminism is killing men, and it's tough. I feel for guys. I think that guys do have they have a rough go at things for sure. And I think that there's a lot of imbalance in the world, as you said, so it does really suck.
Yeah, these are very confusing times.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, you know, when you're trying to figure things out, especially when you're like in a place where you're still trying to find yourself, maybe in like the late teens, early 20s, and there's just so much division online and in you know, in the real world, which unfortunately not many people get into. You there's so many like this like manosphere rabbit holes that young men get sucked into, the Andrew Tates and that bullshit, that they feel like they lack value if they don't assert themselves in some domineering asshole kind of way. And there's just so much conflicting information out there on like how to be a man and how to be this and that. And you know, at the end of the day, just be you. Don't worry about what car you drive or how much you can bench or, you know, whatever.
Whether or not you have a girlfriend that looks a certain way.
That's all inconsequential, like in such unimportant bullshit. That's all just for the birds. Like, you just want to find what makes you happy and how you can bring joy to others. I think there's such a strength in embracing your weaknesses.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And I think that's something that men find so, like,
it's hard for them to do it.
They are, because they're trained. Like, you don't cry and you don't do this, and it's like, it fucking breaks us.
Right, that's what I was meaning about, like, having, like, more accepting culture around, like, men and their feelings and stuff. Because unfortunately, too, like, we've kind of talked about before in various reviews, like, men, when they have problems, like, kill people. Like, when it goes bad for guys, like, when they have, like, major mental health crises, they're killing themselves, they're killing other people, they're hurting people, like, it gets very violent. And if there's a way to, like, prevent all that pain, like, that's an important thing to pursue. And, you know, like, what you put your attention on, like, that's what's gonna come to you, that's what's gonna be in your life. Like what you're focusing on, if you're focusing on like all the negativity in that online sphere that you're talking about, like that's what you're gonna see in the world around you. Like you're gonna see it reflected back. So
yeah, I mean, people might want to push back on that, but I mean, facts are facts. I mean, that's true. It really is. You know, it's not something that can be really denied. Like 99% of serial killers are men.
Yes.
Almost 100% of mass shooters are men.
And this isn't to say women are perfect.
No,
women
of
do
course
bad
not.
things too. But
I
these
see people
movies,
getting
though,
mad immediately.
I know.
What do you mean they kill people? Look
They
around,
do.
dude.
They do.
Are you kidding me?
And this is the danger.
How many wars are fought and started by men? How many men kill other men? Like, without question, men have like a fucking stranglehold on all the murder.
They're like, if I'm gonna be good at one thing, no. But yeah, I mean,
women kill people.
We're talking, yes,
but nowhere near as much.
But
as
when we talk about
people.
these
I don't
movies,
know why this is extremely relevant at the moment, but I'm just gonna protect my wife on this one. Really
but
quick.
I mean, it does. You know, obviously
true,
the movies that we just talked about, the Stepford Wives. I mean, they're literally killing their wives and turning them into robots, or killing their kids in some way. You know, just because they want them to be, they want that idyllic. And this is also a really American film too. We didn't even really talk about that, but there's a lot of like the ideal 50s housewife, you know, that obviously in the original, like from the 70s, like we're coming out of that, and like men are wanting to return to the 50s. And even in the remake, there's a lot of like retro imagery, and the women are dressing like 50s housewives for the most part, you know, very inspired fashion. And yeah, it's I lost my train of thought.
Well, sure. I mean, if you go over to fucking Afghanistan, it's like
the Americanized. Yeah,
they're not gonna. This ain't ever gonna happen, because they're just like, get back in the fucking kitchen, and you know, you don't get a say.
Well, yeah, it's very specific to the American point of view and what men think that they should have in America, as far as the family goes, as far as their wives and children are concerned. Obviously, in other Western countries, there might be some similarities, but it's just, I mean, the moving to the suburbs out of the city, like, there's just so many elements that I feel like make it very, very intrinsic to American culture.
I also forgot to mention that the genie from My Dream of Jeannie, Barbara Eden, is the star of the third movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I really liked the characters in the remake. The movie itself is lame.
Yeah, I agree.
But the characters, all the actors and the characters, I actually really enjoyed. So it's kind of a bummer that the movie itself is so stupid and silly, and like the ATM scene, like you said, is such a weird misstep of like, why is this so fucking goofy?
So
like,
goofy.
Why, like, I hate to say this, but like, why the fuck would the wife be able to be an ATM?
Why would you need her to be?
That's so
You're
dumb.
Gonna be out in public and like, oh, I need this money, and she's gonna be like...
it's so
I mean,
stupid.
I guess if you're in Stepford, like, everybody in Stepford knows about this, so I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's silly. It's super silly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's
everything.
everything.
We talked. We didn't really get. We were gonna do movie by movie, but obviously
we
got
all
on
over
a
the
tangent
place.
and talked about a bunch of things, and probably upset some people. That's all right. You know, you can go make your wife into a robot, and you'll feel better. I'm sure if this conversation upset you, then you're probably the kind of person that would like to turn his partner into a Stepford wife. That's that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're the kind of person that's like, she'd probably be better if she was a robot.
We asked each other. Well, you asked me first. You were like, what would you? What trait? What did you say? It was like, how would you make me into a Stepford husband?
Yeah,
like,
what would you
do?
change about me?
And I was like, nothing. And then you said...
I said that I'd make you less stinky.
Yeah, or more stinky.
Or more stinky.
Yeah.
So that's something between us you wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't get it. I'm not really stinky, or am I?
Yeah, no, I literally have zero interest in my wife being roboticized.
Yeah.
That doesn't appeal to me at all. I very much prefer Kaylee to be Kaylee. And if, I don't like something about Kaylee, then that's my
tough titties
problem to deal with, I guess. Like that's the it's being with somebody. That's being with a human.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I don't have expectations
some of
with
these things
Kaylee.
too are like they kind of like get annoyed with just like when you live with somebody for a while, like inevitably there are just gonna be things that they do that you get kind of annoyed with, right? Like whatever it is, just little idiosyncrasies, like I don't know, stupid
Like
stuff.
what? Like
no,
what?
I don't have anything
Like
like.
what
Okay, well,
specifically?
one thing that I remember. Okay, no. Actually,
Here we go.
No.
No, you have to say it now.
It was.
We all want to know.
What I was meaning was like little things, like I wouldn't close the toothpaste cap, and I remember like when we first started living together, you're like, you never close the toothpaste cap, and you didn't say it in like a horrible way, but I always try and close it now. But, like, that's the kind of thing that I'm meaning, right? Like, things like that people just sort of, like, have whatever that they do.
That's not what she was going to say.
No, it was. 100%. Yeah.
You were going to do something about me.
No, that was literally what I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Or, maybe they play video games with their brother late at
loud.
night and they're really loud. But, you love them.
That's true.
You just make it work.
Where's my remote? Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a human on Earth that doesn't annoy you at some point.
It happens. Even our dog annoys us sometimes, and I love him unconditionally.
Gross.
Only sometimes.
Yeah. I want to turn him into a little Stepford dog.
No way.
A little robot
No.
CGI thing.
He would be so sad. All right, that's it.
That's
Bye.
it, guys. Don't turn your wives or your husbands
Don't
into...
turn anybody into a robot.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's the message.
All right. Well, Kaylee and I are going to go look at brochures for Stepford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the next time you see her, she'll be blonde. Her boobs will be out to here. You'll have a permanent smile, and you'll refer to me only as Captain.
I'm your captain now.
Look at me. Look at me. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.